Joining us here in the studio, we have Brian Chambers from the Boobie Trap. He is one of the finalists in his establishment in the Performing Arts category for Arts Connect's Artie Award. How are you, Brian?
Doing great today.
Glad to have you back here with us. Congratulations on the nomination and the finalist status here.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your involvement in Topeka's arts scene.
Well, mostly musical arts, I would say, is what we do, and for this category, you know, for 12 years now that we've had live shows, we've brought in bands and artists from all over the globe. I think I counted up 12 different countries we've had artists in, and I think we really bring a sort of a unique aspect to the music here in Topeka. That the local bands are great and their friends come out or whatever, but we're able to bring from bands in different genres of all kinds from all over the world. I think it's and just last night we had a band from Arizona that the place was filled. It was a good crowd last night, and I don't know. It's a neat thing to be doing for me.
Yeah, I get to see a lot of really cool people, bring a lot of cool people to this community, and to celebrate a lot of those people who are in this community who are doing what they love to do, right?
Yep.
Yeah, very good. Where were you born?
I was actually born in Fairfield, California. Okay. I was an Air Force brat, but we moved back here when I was 13 months old, so I don't remember a lot of California. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we moved back to, I grew up in Baldwin, Kansas, a little small town south here. But so that's been pretty stationary though until I moved to Topeka. Yeah.
Who would you say is your biggest influence to that's created you to be the person you are, who's created a facility that does what it does?
I've told the story, and I would have to say my mother, which may seem a little odd, but when I was little, living in Baldwin, and we would go to Lawrence to buy groceries every Saturday because they were cheaper. Yeah. And they had this new thing, Associated Grocers, that would sack your own groceries. Like nobody had ever heard of that before, and prices were reduced. So we would come to Lawrence, and my mom would bribe me every Saturday. She would buy me an album every Saturday if I would come help and sack groceries. So we would go to the grocery store, we would go to the record store, and then usually eat some Long John Silvers or something. And for a lifetime, for several years there, I developed a pretty large album collection and a lot of very different things. And it really, even though my parents weren't musical, it sort of established this, part of me that just loved all types of music. And I've just sort of went with it, I guess.
So going back at when you were 8 years old, what were you doing in your spare time?
Two things. I read a lot, a fantasy novel freak, and I did experiments.
Sounds interesting. Yeah.
I would take everything I owned apart and then mix strange liquids, and luckily never injured myself or the house. I was always a little experimental. Played a lot of baseball, and learned to play guitar, I guess, a little bit, a couple years, maybe a couple years after 8. But
so what do you think of Topeka's arts scene from where where it was to where it is today?
It's absolutely amazing. And while I'm in Midtown, not as much in North Topeka, so I don't even get to enjoy it as much as I would like. I get over there once in a while, but it really is a transformation. That's something, I've lived in this town for now 22 years, and when these things happen, you're kind of like, wow, this is really a neat thing to see progress and moving forward. And it's made, my business relevant. It's all of this interest in music and art and the combination of the two. We have actually had a couple different acts that came, perform music, and while one of them painted, and then they auctioned it off afterwards. People just love it. It's just, they're spending a lot of money for my crowd, it was a lot of money for these paintings that do it. So, but yeah.
Very cool. What would you like to say to the person who nominated the Boobie Trap for this award?
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You work so hard, like for myself, and I don't think about accolades, and I don't even think about money a lot, as much as, like I said, last night we had a great crowd out there, and it was a free show, so there wasn't a lot of money being tossed around for the thing, but at least to see the interest of people to come out from just basically Facebook advertising, it's the word of mouth sort of, and to see people come out, that's such a great feeling to see people care. Because sometimes it's not, sometimes you have shows and you're just like, oh, why do I do this, Yeah. And then so for these nights like that, and then to be nominated for a local award that is significant, and it, I just kind of smile, and I hear this year has been a great year for us, and the more it goes and things continue to do well, you just think bigger, and you're like, well, what else can I do? And you reach out further, and that's where the town is going right now. Everybody's going, okay, well, what can we do next year that's a little bit bigger and a little bit better and more,
Yeah.
So
it keeps fresh. So you're an entrepreneur. Yeah, that's clear, right?
I guess so.
Yeah. Okay. What would you say to the other people in the category with you for the performing arts category? About this, nomination. What would you like to say to them?
Well, congratulations for the nomination as well.
Yeah.
Both is the Kansas Ballet, I believe, and what's the other guys?
The other ones we have the Kansas Ballet, we have the Boobie Trap, and we have Kyler Carpenter.
Kyler.
Kyler's a rock star to the.
Yes, I had gone to Via's Pizza a few years ago or so when he would play in there, and it's a great fun thing. So I don't know. Best of luck. I mean, I hope second place is good for them. Just kidding, guys.
Very good, very good. Okay, and what would you like to see for Topeka's art scene 5 years from now?
I don't know. I would like to see it possibly spread to other parts of the city in some way. And while there are reasons why clumps of bars and things make it, Westport, Kansas City Power Light, these places that you have a one-stop shop for entertainment and things, and there are reasons that work. And Noto's been doing a great job with that. But there's a lot of people, for me, I live on the east side, so it's kind of I can't just drop over there for a little while. It's a little bit more of a drive for me. And I would love to see some development, maybe not on that scale, obviously on a different day of the month, maybe, but I know there's certainly on the west side, Midtown, for me, in my business, I would love to see more. But I would like to, I guess that's the main thing. Let's just see it spread out a little bit. You've watched it kind of go from downtown and now to Noto, and I'd like to take it another step. Now, sort of the problem with that move is it's sort of left downtown, and it's certainly with the construction and things down here, and you don't want to see that.
What's going to happen when everything's completed and when we see streets again? Like
it may, as a business owner, it hurts my heart every time I have to drive downtown. I mean, not only because I'm angry at the traffic, and it takes me 30 minutes just to get 4 blocks, but just these businesses downtown that and I don't know what the better answer would have been. I mean, really, there were problems that needed to be.
The weather. That's really what a lot of the thing is. But
I mean, I know these things needed to be done. But yeah, it's just tough.
It's good progress, I think, when you're talking 5 years down the road. Maybe not for this month, maybe not for this month's receipts, but 5 years down the line.
And assuming people can make that, that's the real trick. But
yeah, it's good stuff. Well, Brian, I thank you so much for coming by. Of course, we have to do the notorious lightning round with you here.
All right.
We're going to put 60 seconds on the clock and ask you some fun personality questions. You just tell us what comes to your mind first. All right?
He's always stumped me.
In a G sort of way. Like, here we go. All right, 60 seconds, go. In your opinion, what was the greatest movie of all time?
Oof. Caddyshack.
All right, good one. Good one. Which big name celebrity do you idolize the most?
Oh, alive or dead?
Anyone. Yeah.
Christopher Hitchens.
All right. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Mind reading.
Oh, good. Do you have any tattoos?
I do not.
All right. If you could take one item on a personal trip to Mars and one item alone, what would it be?
One item.
One personal item.
One personal. My guitar.
All right. Who are the top 3 people that make you laugh the most?
My son. Jim Jeffries is a comedian this week that kind of new to me. Yeah. And oh wow, 60 seconds. We
have a slow clock. Don't worry.
Adam Sandler.
All right. What's your favorite kind of sandwich?
Grilled ham and cheese.
Who's your favorite artist?
Oof. Dolly.
All right. What's your favorite kind of music?
That is the question to end all questions. I like the music that makes the people I'm with smile.
Good.
It's not, after all these years in the business, it's less about me and more about everyone else having a good time, and then I have a good time.
Awesome, awesome. If you were ice cream, what flavor would you be?
French vanilla.
Why?
It's probably the opposite of everything I am, but it's my favorite kind.
Maybe that's exactly the best reason there. And who's your favorite local talk show host?
Let's see.
It's going to take a lot of thought there.
It has to be you. It has to be you, Chris. It has to be you.
Thanks a lot, Brian. That's Brian Chambers of the Boobie Trap, one of the nominees in the category for Performing Arts Award here for the Artie Awards for Arts Connect. Best of luck to you, and thank you for all you do. It takes a lot of work to keep that thing going, and appreciate that you add it to the community.